This is probably going to turn into a long rant, but who would win in a fight, 100 men or one gorilla? It's like asking the question, uh, who would win in a war, the whole world versus the United States? And of course, they ran that simulation 100 times, and every time the United States wins because it has the most military assets. You know, the United States is a Germanic country. And for the past 2,000 years, all of the world's conflicts come from the Germanic race. Now, there's a Israeli book called A Necessary War in which the Amalek of the Bible is identified as the Germanic race. Now, in ancient Rome, Rome had a Germanic problem. You know, it had to conquer the Germanic tribes and keep them in line. And since it was victorious in doing that, nobody else on the planet stood a chance. Now, if you look at the ancient world, the Germanic people couldn't take control of Europe and set up their monarchies because all of Europe's monarchies of Germanic descent until the Scythians were taken care of. So the Scythians became warrior people because they had to beat back Germanic people. And likewise, the Chinese became warrior people because they had to take care of the Scythians, and they eventually won, and they went over into India and established a kingdom for 400 years. And this just trickles over to the entire world. And it's like this way today. Everybody's military hardware and battlefield tactics come from some Germanic race, either the United States or Nazi Germany. It's why most of the world's militaries march like little Nazis. It's why all the terrorist organizations are always caught with Nazi literature, because these are the warrior people. And the downside to it is, in order to have a society that's combat ready all the time, you need a really stupid and highly addicted people, which is what we got in the United States. We're the only industrialized nation that doesn't have free healthcare. We have the crappiest education, and gang violence is worse here than any other place in the world. When I was in India, a guru was telling me the difference between Americans and Indians, and he says American children know how to handle guns. They're completely desensitized. Their head is filled with violence all the time. And he didn't even bring up the fact that the whole hunting culture here. The United States has more firearms than most entire countries, and we like to hunt and kill animals. And living in a Germanic society, you don't realize how abnormal it is until you break away from it. And everything is a weapon. I mean, I could put a bullet in a revolver, spin it, and pull the trigger to my head, and I would have a better luck surviving than I would getting married. Because marriage has been weaponized in the United States. Everything is a weapon. The money is a weapon. That's why the BRICS nations got formed. Because the United States weaponized money. Speech, your words are weaponized. That's why it's such a toxic place to live in. So one thing I've heard from military experts is they say that in order to have a powerful military, you must constantly have a stream of conflicts. And we have no shortage of it. So the United States is very good. If you look at Israel and Gaza, so George W. Bush started Gaza in 2006, Operation Road to Peace. And then we've also installed radical jihadists in Iran. And then in the Gulf War, which my dad fought in because, you know, Uncle Sam likes to exploit minorities, turning melanin into money. And so he did their dirty work. But we gave Saddam Hussein all of our military hardware. And then we fought him, expecting the way I feel about it from my perspective, living in this country, is it's almost like for sport, like it's fun, or it's just the way Germanic society is engineered. And France has Africa to have its constant stream of conflict to keep its military strong. And of course, India loves to buy French jets. So the difference between Germanic people and ancient Rome. So the new Rome is the United States. And here's the big difference. Rome made Africa part of Rome, okay, because it thought it was doing the right thing. Rome, in its eyes, Julius Caesar thought that he's just going to make the whole world Roman. Well, is that the right thing to do? Like, let's say Julius Caesar became the president of the United States. should all of Africa be part of America? And I'm repulsed by the very idea of it because, of course, America is the absence of culture. It can't enculturate anybody because it is the absence of culture. And I think everybody could see that. And I don't think it's America's objective. And some people are so confused. They really don't understand how this world works. They have no clue at all. And that's why I'm making this video. I'm trying to explain how the world works and what it's like with a Germanic people being the decision makers of this planet. So the way I see it is America's objective, since it's not going to make the whole world America, you know, because it would have if that was the plan. So the United States didn't. The Native Americans was one of the most successful genocides in human history, but they were spared for the sole purpose of fueling the United States Army. They wanted practice, they wanted training, they wanted something to do. And that's the scary thing is that's what America is doing. It wants something to do. It wants war in the Middle East. It wants war in the Ukraine. It really wants it. And what it absolutely wants, subconsciously, is somebody to put the dog down. It wants a worthy opponent, and it just hasn't found one. And if that day never comes, what we're going to see and experience for the next 2,000 years, and I'm dead serious, is perpetual war on this planet. There will never be peace. And it's funny, anti-Semitism was always a tool that Germanic people, and it comes from Germanic people. It doesn't come from anybody else. It doesn't come from the Arabs. It only comes from Germanic people. And it's a tool of Germanic people to absolve themselves of their crimes, which stink unto the heavens. So if you don't know this already, you are knee deep in the matrix. You are plugged in. You are a zombie. You are a battery in the matrix. And so this is how the world works. I looked at this planet. All I see is corruption. If America wasn't the evilest thing to have ever existed in human history, then there would be peace on earth. And that's just not what we're seeing. We're seeing a hole this big on a ball like this because we're just absolutely destroying the environment. And this is because we have a Germanic problem on this planet, and just nobody could stop it. So I feel like maybe it is important to just express it. I don't know. That's how I feel.